Let's jump to the application of this whole thing. We're on the top of page 3 of your notes. And here's a question. Have we allowed the truth of who Jesus is to filter into our lives and change how we handle the good and the bad times that we experience? Okay, life will get messy. Amen? Amen? Life will get difficult. There will be trials. There will be difficult times. All right, so what do we do? What do we do? Here's your choice, okay? Let's say I've got a big filter here. Here we go. I'll try to use this as kind of a weak illustration, but I'll do it. Let's say this is like a filter, okay? Do we take our view of God and filter Him through our experiences, and then who He is after that, that's what we're left with? Or do we filter our experiences through God, who never changes, who's always the same? Our circumstances will always change, but God will never change. And so when I face a trial, when I face a crisis, what do? Okay, Jesus, what do you have to say about that? And then all of a sudden, some things get filtered out. Oh, you do love me. Well, I doubted that for a little bit. Oh, you care about me. Oh, you are able to help me. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Oh, I am surrounded by a bunch of people that love me. And all of a sudden, this huge crisis that we have, when we filter it through our view of God, it gets way smaller. But the problem is, a lot of times, we take our view of God and we put our crisis there. It's like, okay, all right, depending on how my crisis looks, that's what you're going to look like. So if our crisis seems really bad and it stays bad, our view of God becomes much smaller. Does that make sense? Secondly, let's take a look. Or firstly, Jesus is God. Our application here, we know this, that Jesus is God. You can try to kill like the Pharisees, you can think he's crazy like his family, or you can believe him. And we can spend our lives trying to figure out the full implications of that truth. And it'll take you a full lifetime to figure God out, and even then you won't. That's okay. That's okay. I do know this, he's God. He's not just a teacher. He's not just some religious figure. He's God. He's God. Secondly, Jesus is Lord. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Here he's showing that he's not just God, but he's the Lord over all creation. He's the one that could speak to a storm and immediately it ends. He's the one that can defy nature and walk on water that's not frozen. How's he doing that? Because if something is Lord, you've heard me say this, if something is Lord, that means it's a master of something. It has control of something. Who is my Lord? Whatever controls me is my Lord. Whatever has mastery of me is my Lord. So Jesus is not just showing that he's God, he's also showing that he is in charge. He is Lord. He is, that fancy word is sovereign. And he never stops being Lord.